What is going on, guys? Fantasy Empire here, back with the official Fantasy Empire Dynasty League. It is a 16-team, 20-man roster, half-point PPR. Like I said, this is the official league of the channel for football, and I'm going to be kind of giving you updates on stuff that happened. So we're going to go over the draft grades. It took about 2 hours and 14 minutes. So basically, yeah, there's 16 teams in this league. I'm going to be giving a grade from anywhere between A plus and D minus. So basically, if you're in the A's, you are more than likely going to finish in the top 3, top 4. If you're in the B's, you should be able to make it to the playoffs as long as you keep up with the team. And if it's a C, which will be kind of the majority, probably the 9 through 14 or something like that, those are the teams that probably won't make the playoffs, but with some waiver wire pickups, they could. And then the D's will be the terrible teams. So, in fact, if we look here on the matchups, I feel like I had a pretty good team. I am Noobinator right here. I feel like I drafted pretty well, and I checked through, and I actually do have the highest projection. So, I'll take that. Yes, 8 teams make the playoffs in this league. So, let's just go over the teams, I guess. So, we will start off with, let's start off with who had the number 1 pick, which would be White Gravy. So, actually, never mind. White Gravy did not have the number 1 pick. Who had the number 1 pick? Dirty Dan had the number 1 pick. Okay, so let's go through his teams. We'll go by positions and see how that goes. So, trying to make this video too long. Quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Derek Carr. So, decent quarterbacks. I think they can both, at least Carr has some upside, and Wilson is a steady quarterback. The running back core, he's got Saquon Barkley, which is the best player. McGuire there, that is one of the guys in the league. Devonta Freeman and Ito Smith, so he's got his own handcuff for that. That's pretty good. Ty Montgomery is an interesting pick, especially with the news coming out about week 1. Amir Abdullah is a good pick. Precise. We see how he goes. Cory Clement is a nice flyer as well. Gaskins, and Bilal Powell, more depth. So they just have a bunch of depth on this team, basically. And it looks good on running back. For receiver, Keenan Allen, A.J. Green, Cortland Sutton, Devin Funchess, and Miles and Willie Snead and John Ross. So receiving core looks pretty good as well, deep, and they got the Bears and Gotskowski. Honestly, this is an A- team right here. I honestly think that they can get pretty far. This is definitely a playoff team. They have the right handcuffs. They have the right flyers. So, yeah, that is going to be Dirty Dan, A-. Let's go to the team who had the 2nd pick, which was White Gravy. He selected Alvin Kamara. Let's look at the quarterbacks first. We have Lamar Jackson and Jacoby Brissett. So the quarterback position is kind of weak on his team. Like, if Lamar doesn't run the ball as much this year, and Brissett's already not like an amazing quarterback, this team does have quarterback issues. And we're at the point where no quarterbacks are available unless you're like Ryan Finley or something like that. So the quarterback position is kind of weak. Running backs, Alvin Kamara, Sony Michel, and Ronald Jones. I feel like Kamara and Michel is good, but Jones, maybe not so much. They do have Mr. Brown, the Rams' 3rd-string running back. Thompson was a good pick. Ogunwale was a good pick. And that's it. So the running backs are about average. It's top-heavy on the running backs. Receivers are very good on this team, actually. Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, D.D. Westbrook, Corey Davis as well. Camaro, we'll see how he goes. Zay Jones is a good pick. Hollywood Brown, a steal. And Preston Williams. So receivers are above average on this team. The tight ends, Mark Andrews and Will Disley. So honestly, like this team, I'm going to go with a B+. This team should be able to make it to the playoffs. If the quarterbacks still have issues, then it's definitely a playoff team. If not, you have enough upside to the point where this is still a good team anyway. Okay, so I had the 3rd pick in the draft. I said highest projection here, but we'll see how it goes. My quarterbacks are Kirk Cousins and Josh Allen, so I waited on quarterback, got them both, and they will both be good enough every week. Running backs, I feel like, are decently strong on my team. I got McCaffrey with my third pick. Damian Williams is interesting, considering Eric Reed has made a top 10 running back every year. Or not every year, but most years. Rashad Penny, it's kind of a handcuff on Carson. If he goes down, and Penny's is going to be good anyway from receiving and the backup rushes, this team's going to rush for more than 30 times a game. The receiver, sorry, keep going here. Nyheim Hines, solid, another one of those handcuffs in case Matt goes down, and he's just a general really good pass catcher. CJ Anderson, who's a handcuff to Kerryon Johnson and just a good runner in general. McGuire's a handcuff. Jordan Scarlett is my handcuff for McCaffrey. So if you notice the thing, I have a lot of running backs that have their roles in the offense right now, but are also handcuffs to top-tier players. So yeah, I think my running back core is pretty good. Amari Cooper, DJ Moore, Sterling Shepard, Anthony Miller, Mohamed Sanu, and Doxson, and Andy Isabella as my receiving core. I think I have enough upside with Isabella possibly, and Doxson's a safe pick, Sanu's a safe pick. My receivers aren't as strong. Like, I don't have a true wide receiver 1, but I kind of have 3 wide receiver 2s and 3, being Cooper, Moore, and Shepard. So I say I have average receivers. Although I do have a top 5 tight end in Evan Ingram and a decent backup in Cameron Brate. And I picked the Seahawks defense for week 1. So considering I'm projected the most points, I'm going to be somewhere in the A. I'm not going to put myself in an A+. If I had like a better wide receiver 1, it could be an A+, but for now we'll go with an A. I don't remember the picks after this, so let's just go in order here. Big Mac Rap always has good quarterbacks. So he's got Watson here and Big Ben. I thought he had another quarterback. But Big Ben and Watson, 2 good quarterbacks, not going to argue with that. Running back, Todd Gurley fell to him. Jordan Howard is not my favorite pick. Same with Barber. That's not the greatest pick in the world. And that's kind of all the starters he has. I do not have Smallwood, is there as well. So only 3 running backs in total. Or 4 running backs, in total. So Big Mac Rap has serious issues because Howard could lose his job to Sanders. Barber isn't that great of a player, and he's kind of hoping on Smallwood. So yeah, not so sure about this running back core. That's pretty bad. The receivers, though, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Larry Fitzgerald. Talk about 3 of the safest wide receivers. Can't go wrong with those. Travis Benjamin could be good. Enunwa is a very good pick. Taylor Gabriel is usually going undrafted. Another good pick there. And the Bucs 4th string receiver. So he does have really good receivers. But the best part about his team is the tight ends, Ertz, Burn, and Hooper. That is absolutely crazy here. Don't know what to say about that. He's got all 3 starting. So he definitely hogged the tight ends for the other people. So this team, though, I feel like it's good. I'm going to say B- on it. It's definitely a playoff team, as you can see by the projections here as well. It's going to be a playoff team. So right now, all 4 teams we looked at have been playoff teams. So we'll have to obviously have some teams that will make the playoffs. Maybe it's going to be this one, maybe not. Let's see. Team Lister 97. Jared Goff's the quarterback, and your backup is going to be nobody. So no backup behind Jared Goff. That is definitely an issue when it comes to the bye weeks. Good running backs, though. Chris Carson's one of my favorite. Kenyon Drake isn't the best, and he's got Balaj behind. But he does have a handcuff in Madison starting there as well. And he's got Jalen Richard, who's kind of a handcuff. Homer, who is projected 0 points. Don't really know what kind of pick that was. And that's all the running backs he has. This kind of has running back issues. Not going to lie. Carson as your RB1. and then everything after that's kind of Juju was a stretch, but he's still a good pick. Robert Woods, Christian Kirk, Crowder, Parker, Paul Richardson, Moore, Keelan Cole, and Boykin. This team has the receivers. Could be the best amount of receivers in the league. Ebron will be his starting tight end, and Azuma will be his backup, so not a bad situation at all. And then the kicker, Fairbairn and Chiefs. In my opinion, I'm going to go C+ on this one. This will be one of the teams that have to get the right waiver wire pickups to make the playoffs, and that's going to be the running backs. But the thing about this league is that there aren't a lot of waiver wire pickups like Keelan Doss, Gregory Howell. Like, these are the type of waiver wire pickups we're talking about here. Jay Ajayi. So that's kind of the issue here. Not going to have enough waiver wire pickups. Bento Boxing is the next team, and Aaron Rodgers starting quarterback, Phillip Rivers and Andy Dalton. This team will not have quarterback issues. Running backs, here's what's interesting. He could have the best running backs. He has Ezekiel Elliott and Melvin Gordon, but if they don't play, Carlos Hyde's is RB1, and Burkhead's his RB2, and Devontae Booker's his RB3. So this team probably has the worst running backs in the league, but it could be also the best running back in the league if both Elliott and Gordon come back. Receivers, Thielen, Fuller, Sanders, Cole Beasley, and Tavon Austin, Marquise Lee, Albert Wilson, and Harris. So the depth is good. I like the Lee and Wilson pickup. It's pretty good there. And the starters are solid. Double-digit points every week, assuming Fuller and Sanders stay healthy. Jared Cook and Delaney Walker are two pretty good tight ends. No argument there. He got the best kicker and one of the best defenses. To me, this is a C- team, though, because of the risk at running back. I'm Arctic is the next team we're going to be looking at here. Oh, sorry about that. I'm Arctic. Quarterbacks, Cam Newton, and that's the only quarterback he has. So once again, has a good quarterback, but when it comes to free agency, he's not going to be able to pick up anybody. Running backs, very, very good, actually. Dalvin Cook, Marlon Mack, Latavius Murray, as well as Alfred Blue, and Sproles as handcuffs. Williams is a handcuff. Singletary as a good dynasty player. So he's got the 3 starters he needs, and he's got handcuffs after that. So very good job drafting the running backs by Team Arctic here. Receivers, Odell, Lockett, Samuel, Kenny Stills, Williams, and Traquan Smith and Quinn. So kind of the same situation. He goes for upside with the 3 receivers there. I do like both Samuel and Lockett. And then he's got Williams, who's kind of safe. Stills is kind of safe. Really like the receivers. Again, tight ends, Greg Olsen and Tyler Eifert. Honestly, Team Arctic had a very, very good draft. I think the draft was an A-, but the talent on this team is still B+. I'm kind of in between, so I'm going to go with a B+ on this team here. And he's going to be playing against Squinto, who's actually a 50-50 shot. Let's look at his team. Matt Ryan as the starting quarterback, Tom Brady and Mariota. No quarterback issues on this team. Derrick Henry is going to be a good RB1. Tony Pollard and Jackson are both your next starters. Here's where things get interesting, right? Because Melvin plays and Justin Jackson's not that good for you. Pollard is still going to have a shot in the offense, though. But the thing is, if they both have to start or they both have to get a lot of points, you bet those 2 running backs are going to pay off. Tyreek Hill is a good receiver number 1, and Hilton's a good receiver number 2. Alshon Jeffrey's a good receiver number 3. Allison, I like the upside there as well. And Wright is also pretty good. Dorsett and more kind of stretches there, but not arguing with it too much. Didn't even go with the backup running backs, but yeah, Doug Martin and Mike Davis. We'll have to see how those go. Not too excited about that. They do have Kelsey and Doyle as their tight ends, though. To me, like, there's too much risk at the running back, so I'm going to go a solid C. We already went through Dirty Dan. Let's go through Slam and Cam, Mr. Chest, Mr. Big Chest and the boys. Kyler Murray as your quarterback. Josh Rosen after that. So taking a lot of risks there. I see already put Kareem Hunt and Hakeem Butler on those IR spots. Going to pick up some other people. David Johnson, really like it. Coleman, really like it. The other Johnson, kind of like it. A.J. Brown, a.k.a. Mr. Big Chest, good wide receiver 1. Tyler Boyd's a good wide receiver 2. And Jones is a solid pick. Don't like the Jimmy Graham pick. Campbell will be good. And Cobb is fine, but those both their flex starters aren't the greatest. Then you don't have much on the bench at all. So Slam and Cam, gonna go with the C+. Let's go D. Stano. Garoppolo, starting quarterback. Lindsey, Eckler, Cohen, Adams, Evans, Pettis, McDonald, Jackson, Harris, Fitzpatrick, Bernard, Ellington, Frank Gore, Goodwin, Higgins, Thomas, and Waller. What I notice on this team is safety, right? Garoppolo's a safe pick. Adams, Evans, those are both safe picks. McDonald's a safe pick. And then you got a lot of guys who have a lot of upside, like Eckler and Harris. So I really do like this team. It might not be the best like for this year. So I'm going to go ahead and say B-. Although you do look at it, and they're only 2 points projected behind me, so maybe I am undergrading this team. We'll have to see as the season goes on. Kaiser Soze, Carson Wentz, the starter. Joe Mixon, Lamar Miller, who will be moved. Just picked him, I guess, for the value for next year. So that might affect the projections. LaShawn McCoy could be cut to see. Jones and Edelman, 2 very safe receivers with a lot of upside this year. Cooper Kupp coming off the injury, but he's still going to be good. Reed, not the best to have as your starter. I do like Samuels and Morris behind, though, especially if LA doesn't come back. Flacco and Breeze, you definitely don't have issues at quarterback. Dante Foreman, that was an auto pick. As far as the rest of the team goes, same with Perriman and Conley. They can both be good. Honestly, like, this team is probably a B-. Big Bo Bandy's the next victim. Dak Prescott's a good starting quarterback for fantasy, at least. Le'Veon Bell, Fournette, and Henderson. Talk about running backs, including Breida, including Armstead as a handcuff. This team has great running backs. Really applauding that. Issue is Godwin's not a wide receiver 1, and Galladay is, I guess you could say, he's a wide receiver 2. The wide receivers are kind of lacking. Like, you have a lot of upside. You don't have much on the bench. So, I mean, A.J. Brown is a good player. I'll have to see if he does good, but I don't know. Godwin, Galladay, not. I really wouldn't want those 2 to be my top 2 wide receivers when you don't have much depth behind it. But you really do get a running back, so solid B on this one. Next one's Juju Connor. You can tell he kind of likes the Bears here at the first 2 picks. Trubisky's a good quarterback. Montgomery can win a league. Darius Geis is technically a rookie, and rookie running backs do good. Royce Freeman is going to be really good this year, in my opinion. I wanted him, but Juju took him. Hopkins, the best receiver in the league. Brandon Cooks always has 1,000 yards. Mike Williams is the wide receiver 2 on the Chargers now, and a Phillip Rivers offense. Hawkinson is a rookie tight end. They don't produce well. Watkins is safe. Justice Hill, don't know about that. Well, let's see how he does in your starting flex. Daniel Jones for the future. A lot of these guys back here are for the future. Noah Fant, you got 3 of the rookie tight ends, so going to go with a B- on this one. Nick Krog, possibly the worst team in the league. Let's start off by saying that their quarterback is currently retired. This was an auto pick team. Chubb's good, Jones is good, Ingram's good. Not going to lie, the running back's really, really good. But receivers, here we go. Gordon, Harry, QT. 2 Patriots receivers, never a good idea. O.J. Howard's, I really wanted him. We got Ingram instead. Njoku's good. You got good tight ends, that's for sure. Peterson is always the old guy who does stuff. And you got Foles, Manning, Winston. Got quarterbacks galore on this team. to replace Andrew Luck there. Yeah, but we're going to go D+ on this one. Fantasy irrelevance. The next one, Baker is the starter. I like it. Connor, Jacobs, Balaj. There's something about those picks. They all have their own thing. You know, Connor is trying to prove that he wasn't a slump, or it won't have a slump this year. Jacobs is the rookie, and Balaj is trying to win the job. The receivers, though, are kind of lacking. Anderson does have potential. Same with Valdez-Scantling, and Moncrief can be a touchdown machine, but I don't know about all that if you're starting 3 receivers. Kittle is the best tight end, in my opinion, for the next 5 years. Maybe not this year. Probably still Kelsey, but this is a dynasty league. Humphreys and Hardman, 2 really good picks. Looking at the bench, nothing too much. Keyshawn Johnson and Renfro are 2 young receivers I like. This team, to me, is a solid B. And we already did white gravy, so let's take a look at the last team. Pewing, Flyer, Patty, Mahomey. Carry on my wayward son. Miles Sanders, James White. They got really good running backs on this team. Robinson, Gallup, and Metcalf. That's the issue again with receivers. Rudolph is a solid tight end. Brown and Aguilar should be fine in your flex as well. Stafford as a backup. Artis Payne as a handcuff. Darwin Thompson as a handcuff. And a whole bunch of nothing down here except the Golden Tate pick. That was a good pick in my opinion. So to me, this team is a C+. So in total, I think we had only like 4 or 5 teams I don't think that can make the playoffs, but obviously some of them won't. But I'll see you guys next time. We'll go over any big trades or something like that. As you see, we already got people doing stuff here. Theo Riddick was added. Willis was added. And yeah, so there we go. See you guys next time, and peace.